The Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup race number 1 with the cars lining up on the grid sees Michael Weddle, number 7, on pole position from Ian Munro, with Ian Burnthrone and Dougie Simpson a good quality second row. We've got Mark Geraghty, Vic Covey Jr, Neil Methin high up after qualifying, and alongside him Craig Blake as well. We're already under starters orders. We've got a full complement of lights on and off, and down to Duffus Dip they go, and Weddle with a rocket start there gets himself ahead as they head down towards that first corner, the all-important first corner. Spits of rain on the lens of the camera, and nothing worse when the minis are all heading in towards Duffus Dip. But everybody looks like they've made it through. Everybody jockeying for position in the mid-pack towards the back. But as we come through turn 3 McIntyres and head down through Butchers and the chicane, everybody amazingly controlling themselves and behaving through these first very tight sequence of bends here that we have at Knockhill Racing Circuit. So Weddle, after that qualifying, sensational qualifying lap I should say, which put him on pole position with a 62.216. Well, they got a good start there, didn't he? He's already leading as they come through Clark Corner and head towards the hairpin. Into our view now from Ian Munro, and that's Dougie Simpson who has got up into third place. Munro closes up on the brakes on Weddle, but Weddle does manage to hold that one off as they come through the corner and accelerate up for the first time of asking up towards the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, past a pretty decent crowd here at Knockhill Racing Circuit today. And you can see just a few more spits of rain coming past our camera lens as we see the start gantry there underneath the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, and in towards Duffus Dip goes Michael Weddle. And the big thing with Ian Munro is he has got to try and string a race together here. Things haven't really gone that well for him in a couple of races this year, as Ashley Morris tries to go around the outside of Neil Methin, finds a little bit of extra gravel, and that's Chris Reid who goes underneath Ashley as they come through McIntyre's Butchers complex just now. So Ashley very aggressive on the way in towards turn 3, but lost a bit on the exit and lost a position down as well. Gordon Long, our onboard cameraman. Let's have a listen to Gordon into Clark Corner. You can see just a little bit of oversteer as he turned into. That looked pretty good actually. And the rain, it's not causing too much problems as we see Munro dive bombing at the hairpin. Now Michael Weddle, he must have seen Munro coming there, still decided he was going to turn into the corner, and that was a pretty hefty bump in the side there. Oh, and retiring is coming at the hairpin. That's a great shame as well. Car number 52 rolls over to the side of the track. And as we look down, Simon Holderness will not be happy with that one. Munro up the inside and passes Weddle, going through the top of Duffus. Weddle doesn't give up and takes the escape road. And, well, this is all getting pretty tasty at the front of the minis here. And Dougie Simpson's coming involved in this now. Tries to go around the outside of Ian Munro through the chicane, 2 abreast through the chicane. And Munro bounces across the grass, and this is becoming more like rallycross than it is the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. The driver's not willing to give an inch, and sometimes you just need to give that inch, otherwise that could have been big damage for Michael Weddle there, and also at the hairpin could have been damage for Munro there, sorry, bouncing across the grass like that. If that car had dug in at the front, well, who knows what could have been broken off that there. But thankfully all cars involved in that calamity still going. Weddle comes through the hairpin from Munro, and it's Vic Covey ahead of Simpson now. And then we've got the 2 Bonthorn security cars as we go back on board with Gordon Long trying to go around the outside, but unable to do that, and he's got the good cut back through the hairpin now though. That's Andrew Bell that he's about to go past side by side up the main straight. Long's on the inside, so that should give him the prime spot for going up the inside at Duffus Dip turn 1 and taking that position away from Andrew Bell. As the leaders all come through, Vic Covey a little bit wayward and wide through the apex of McIntyre's, but we'll let Vic off with that because currently right now he is in 3rd place. He's come through from 6th in qualifying, and he's got himself onto the back end of the podium here at Knockhill for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup just now. He'll be pretty happy with that. And yeah, the rain looks like it's subsided, but the Yokohama tyres these guys running on, obviously able to adapt to the damp and the dry. It's 1 tyre for all, so if it's wet they don't change tyres. They could maybe put a newer tyre on so there's a slightly deeper tread in it, but the tyres are standard for the wet and the dry. As the spectators pointing to all the minis coming in there, and that looks like one of the Bonthorn security cars making a move. Mark Geraghty, that would possibly be on Dougie Simpson out of the hairpin and up the main straight, as we see the leaders coming underneath that Beatson's Building Supply Bridge. The move still on. Yes, Geraghty. Gez goes up the inside, and that's a nice, good, clean manoeuvre there. Dougie Simpson from that podium spot finds himself down a little bit now, and the next man behind him is Ian Bunthrow, then Craig Blake, and then we've got Cameron Bryant. Good showing from Cameron Bryant, and welcome back Chris Reed. We should also say that. Chris Reed goes through our shot there in number 29, as side by side again through the chicane, but Neil Methven manages to go side by side with Ashley Morris. Ash Morris runs out of road on the exit off the corner there though, but they did manage to get through. The telltale typical mini cloud of dust as Ian Walsh comes through. Oh, there's contact there at Clark's now. Oh, Gordon Long, wow, what a great bit of avoiding driving there. Or was that more luck than anything, Gordon? Yeah, a little look in the mirrors there, but that was contact at the heart of the corner. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Joshua Hislop, that is going to bring out a safety car. Great work from the marshals. The safety car rolls out, but the DSR car on the back of the Knockhill Hiab. And yeah, was there contact mid-corner that we didn't see? And round goes Hislop, and then he was collected by somebody else. But a very quick recovery. That's what we like to see here. And we're racing again. Weddle has managed to get a little gap over Ian Munro. That's good, Munro. A little bit slack there. The Mini's normally a lot closer than that off any restart. Covey has to defend from Gez. Here comes Mark Geraghty. Mark Geraghty's looking very racy on this one as Vic Covey saw that, covered the inside. But did Mark Geraghty have enough speed up that straight to make the manoeuvre happen at Duffus Dip? Well, something's happened. Out of camera shot though, but Vic Covey manages to hold that because Geraghty did take the escape road down Duffus Dip there. And you've got to watch, if you take the escape road, the other David Slay racing car now goes off. What a great shame that is. That's Jordan Brown in the gravel at the bottom of Duffus just now. And he won't be happy with that one. Was he pushed or did he jump? That's what we need to find out. But not a good Slay. Yeah, not a good day for David Slay. As we pick up with the leaders coming back in towards the hairpin. Here is Michael Weddle, the number 7 car. Comes through the heart of the tightest corner at Knockhill, and the leaders are both gone. Then the battle's on for the final podium spot. Vic Covey has Mark Geraghty all over the back of him here. Covey defends on the way to the hairpin. Geraghty pops out from the slipstream. He's got Dougie Simpson, he's got Ian Bunthrow, Craig Blake, Chris Reed, Cameron Bryant, and side by side with him, Ian Walsh up the main straight. This is getting pretty tasty as they get towards the end here. As they make their way down through Duffus, Weddle and Munro both gone. Then that battle for Vic Covey as they come in towards McIntyre's. Vic Covey managing to just hold off there. And if anything, Vic's created a little bit of a gap for himself. Now he's got that little tiny bit of breathing space, which you really want to have. As we see them coming through the chicane, Mark Geraghty obviously lost out with that manoeuvre on the main straight. It wasn't to be. And Ian Walsh didn't get past Cameron Bryant either. As we see the rest of the field flooding through the chicane and going up the back straight. We then jump towards the hairpin, and here they come. Again, Michael Weddle still with that lovely little gap over Ian Munro. Munro, yes, catches up on the brakes. That's the concertina effect as they accelerate out of the corner. Munro will then drop back, and Weddle's gap will come back. All in all, Weddle driving a very good race here. And the battle for the podium looks set. It's all behind us for 4th place now. The 4th place gaggle of cars coming up towards that Beatson's Building Supply Bridge. Well, look at them all behind Vic Covey. Vic will be loving this battle with Geraghty Simpson. Blake goes up the inside of Bontrone, and hello, Chris Reed has arrived to the party as well. Well, they better watch out now. Car number 29, he's not been here for a while, but he is very racy, and it's great to see Chris back at the SMRC in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup races here. Brother Kyle Reid and Chris Reed, stalwarts of the championship, and Kyle up and down the country now in minis, and he won the Sunoco Fuel Championship. He won the free ride, didn't he, at Daytona last year at the Rolex 24. So Kyle, really, his racing career is on the up, and good drivers putting a lot of effort. And speaking of effort, this man here, Michael Weddle, he is putting a big effort into winning this race for the Minimax team as he accelerates from the hairpin up the main straight. The checker flag's made ready. It's a checker flag for Weddle. It's 2nd for Munro. Vic Covey Jr. takes 3rd place. He'll be delighted with that. Mark Geraghty comes home for 4th. Dougie Simpson, Chris Reed, all on the line. Reed, Blake and Bonthrow all across the line together. Has to a whole heap of them behind them as well. Cracking Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup race number 1.
Here was Michael Weddle, winner of the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup race 1, and you had to work for that.
Yeah, no, first few laps were pretty sketchy with Ian. Ian got a good run going into the hairpin there, side by side going over the top of Duffus, and then kind of left with no option to take the escape road. But no, I'm glad the safety car came out because he gave me a bit of a buffer. So.
And the championship leader, Robbie Dalglish, is not here this weekend, so are you taking the opportunity just now to try and get that gap down in points?
Yeah, hopefully. We'll see what happens in the next 2 races now. It looks like it's going to rain, so we'll take it race by race. Robbie not being here obviously helps, but we'll see what happens.
And do you like the wet?
It's not too bad, but I know my teammate Vic Covey loves it, so that could be fun.
Just keep him behind.
I'll try.
Thanks, Michael. So Ashley, you're winner of the Ladies Cup today, and you're representing ladies in all championships, and it is Ladies' Day here at Knockhill.
Yeah, it's good to see there's a bit of a hype about it. It's good to get ladies involved in any way of whether it's driving, mechanicking, scrutineering, anything. It's good to see. I'm glad to see there's so many ladies here today.
And how did you get into motorsport?
Well, my dad and my uncle actually were involved in it from a young age, and they kind of stopped when I was younger, but it was sort of always there in the back burner, and they always had an interest in it, and because they'd always shown an interest in it, then it sort of rubbed off on me. So it wasn't actually till my 21st birthday I got given a driving experience at Knockhill, and it was with Gordon Shedden, and I don't know, it was just sat in the car and I was just kind of hooked, and it was a case of on the way back up the road, Dad and I were sort of thinking, can we do it, can we not do it, and then we just thought, we'll give it a go, and we've been doing it ever since, so it's really good.
And I bet your first race you were terrified, but it's absolutely the thrill, you can't beat it, can you?
Absolutely. It was a September. I've never seen rain like it, and everybody kept calling it a baptism of fire. But that seemed like the worst it could be. And once that was out of the way, it was just pure excitement from then on. You obviously still get nerves. I think they're healthy to have, but it's really exciting. It's a really good thing to get into.
Good. Well, it's great seeing you out there, and it's great to see you on the podium.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Race number 2 for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. Well, we've seen race number 1. That was a thrilling race with a little bit of bumping and barging at the start of it. But race number 2, well, we get Michael Weddle and Ian Munro once again on the front row of the grid. Vic Covey Jr. and Mark Geraghty will be row number 2. This is the finishing order from race number 1. Then Dougie Simpson and Chris Reed all the way up to 6th place, with Craig Blake, Ian Bunthorne, Cameron Bryant and Ashley Morris, who we just saw on the podium, with the lovely Fiona Wallace starting in P10. So this is where things start to kind of transform the day. This is if the drivers have had a good first race, they will put a little bit more effort maybe into race number 2, but ultimately they still have the final, the reverse grid, which could make it pretty exciting. The 30-second board goes out here at Knockhill under quite moody skies just now, but we are happy to inform that there's no rain and the track is dry. Here we go, 5-second board out. You can see Ian Bonthrone's car just sitting down at the back there. That's him on the biting point. He's just holding the car on the handbrake, so it's going up and down on that biting point. We now have lights coming on the bridge and the gantry. Full complement of lights on. A very quick change. Away we go on board with Gordon Long as we head down towards Duffus Dip underneath the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge. Gordon Long, quick couple of checks in the mirrors, but it's Ian Munro who looks like he's going to lead in towards the first corner here. Oh, big sideways for Dougie Simpson, and he manages to hold that. How on earth did he hold that? We will never know, but he did. Michael Weddle's found himself mired in the mid-pack, and that's Cameron Bryant off at the bottom of Leslie's. Cameron Bryant, unfortunately, with that one, that sees him facing the wrong direction, or not the wrong direction, he's been facing the wrong direction, and there's a bit of damage on the front of that David Slay car. But if that's Joshua Hislop's car, that will be from race number 1. But no, Joshua Hislop and Daniel Patterson didn't make the restart or the start for race number 2. As we go on board with we start looking at Ian Munro coming in towards the hairpin. Vic Covey up the inside of Dougie Simpson, and away we go up the main straight. So a little bit of news to do from race number 1 as the safety car is on standby. The lights go on. So does that mean the safety car is coming out? Looks like it. An amended result for race number 1. Car number 6 was disqualified for causing a collision. That was David Burrell. So that disqualification probably come from that Joshua Hislop moment at Clark's when we saw Hislop get turned around at the apex. So David Burrell getting disqualified from race number 1. And that won't go down well at all. And look at those moody skies, yes. David Burrell in the Clone Motorsport car. We can imagine that Adrian Haldane will be having a little word in the ear of his driver, just about calming down and bringing the car home in one piece. So safety car on track. Through comes Ian Munro, and the safety car will pick the Minis up, the Celtic Speed Mini Coopers up, and look at that, that's a very, very quick recovery. In fact, there's David Burrell also out of race number 2 now, so it's not been a good time for David Burrell. We didn't see that car, but we did see Cameron Bryant. So the safety car pulls in, and it's Ian Munro who is controlling this one, and look at that, specks of rain on the camera lens as Chris Reed finds himself in second place. Up towards the restart we go, and we're racing again here at Knockhill for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup cars. Our July meeting, the David Leslie Trophy meeting, and underneath the bridge they all go, past the green flag in front of race control, but Chris Reed finds himself in second place. Fabulous, fabulous stuff for him. And Ian Munro leads the way. Covey, Simpson, then we've got Geraghty and Bonthrown all rushing through. There's Neil Methvin, number 41, just ahead of Gordon Long and Andrew Bell. Car 44, 46 both go through. Car 44, Ross McComb. Car 46, David Gein. And over the chicane they all bounce, because that's what happens here. Now there must be more moisture in the air, because we're seeing more and more wipers on these cars. So this could be interesting. They've obviously started the race on a dry setup, and the weather is now taking a change. So 10 laps out Knockhill in a dry setup. It could be pretty exciting and interesting. Oh, Chris Reed, was he just getting a lovely little love tap by Vic Covey in towards the hairpin? It's difficult to see from our camera angle, but up the main straight they go. They all fan out, jockeying for position. It's still Munro and Reed. Then Simpson cuts across the front of Vic Covey, just trying to cover off any run that Vic Covey was starting to get there. And onto another lap we go. All the time the sky is getting darker and darker here at Knockhill. The floppy baller's been removed through Leslie's as Chris Reed takes a little bit of sausage curb going through the apex of turn 3. Not really advisable that. It does pitch the car very high into 2 wheels. When it's on 2 wheels you can't be accelerating, and Reed a little bit lame through the chicane there, and that was letting Simpson get a run through. He was having to defend on the run up towards Clark Corner as we go back on board with Gordon Long, car number 30. That's Neil Methvin just ahead. Neil Methvin, a graduate from Superlab Scotland, and starting to find his feet in the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. As we enter the Knockhill hairpin once again, it's behind this man that we want to see, because look at that, Vic Covey up the inside, and they've already been passed. Chris Reed's already been passed by Mark Geraghty. So Chris Reed's gone back into the middle of that pack. So Geraghty now in second place from Covey, from one of those 3 cars that are all on a line. Michael Weddle was in the middle of that. It looked like Ian Bonthrown was hugging the pit wall. You're Dougie Simpson and Chris Reed on the inside, and Simpson's got a problem there. Simpson is in big trouble. They're going in very slow and almost getting turned round by Ian Bonthrown. So something going wrong with the Dougie Simpson car. Caught up with Ian Bonthrown, but they both look like they've actually managed to keep going from that. So strange scenes there as up the back straight go everybody else, and that's kind of exploded that pack. Ian Bonthrown's gone way back into it, just ahead of Neil Methvin now, and Dougie Simpson just ahead of Bonthrown. So quite a strange one there as we go in towards the hairpin once again, past some of the spectators starting to put jackets on now, and that's quite a telling thing. If the jackets are going on and the umbrellas go up, that means there is more moisture in the air. But Ian Munro leads from Mark Geraghty and from Vic Covey in 3rd place. That was a podium, 1, 2, 3. Then it's Weddle, Reed, Blake, Morris, Walsh I should say. Welsh it could be, but it's Walsh. And Ian Walsh has come through the pack in this one as well. And Ian Walsh, another man who's starting to put together some very good results in minis, in not just one race, throughout the course of all 3 races. And that's what you really need to do. You don't need to think of just the one race during the day. You've almost got to end with a decent amount of points. And look at that, more contact for Ian Bonthrown and Dougie Simpson. What is going on with those two? Bonthrown now has rearranged the bonnet on that 76. Oh, and because of that contact, it's popped the bonnet up and it's popped the radiator. That is going to overheat. He's going to lose all his water. And as one of David Slate cars has a big moment there, was that because there's some fluid on the track? But Ian Bonthrown better watch he doesn't cook his little mini engine, or that will... Oh, and there's more contact leaving Clark's. Dearie me, this is getting a little bit bumpy and scrapey, and we don't like that. Race control will be very aware of what's going on here, and driving standards need to be monitored, because places like that, the exit of Clark's, there's no real room for error. if you start getting turned the wrong way. Onto another lap we go. Again, look at the colour of those skies, and the wind looks like it's picking up now as Ian Munro. Well, Ian Munro has had a pretty good race, hasn't he? He has kept himself out of trouble. He's kept it clean. He has got a kind of NASCAR donut on the side of the car, but that could have been there from race number 1. And through he goes through the chicane, ahead of Mark Geraghty and Vic Covey, with Michael Weddle now starting to home in. Chris Reed under increasing pressure from 95, Craig Blake and Ash Morris, again having a fabulous run ahead of Ian Walsh just now, as Walshy got enough power and enough left in reserve to get back. But a mini lying on the exit curb as well. That looked like the front splitter from one of these cars. Pretty sure that won't affect the aerodynamics and the downforce just too much. Through the hairpin they come. Michael Weddle is now very much a force to be reckoned with in this one. He's all over the back of Vic Covey Jr. And this has got enough time left to completely explode or implode for the Minimax team, which currently sit in 3rd and 4th place. As we go back to our new camera stationed on the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, they go 3 wide in towards McIntyre's. Vic Covey's trying to get the cut back through the corner, he can't do it. Michael Weddle was just basically waiting for something to happen so he could capitalise on an error in front of him, but Geraghty under huge pressure now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cars behind him, all vying for position to get past, and Walsh has got past Dougie Simpson, and Dougie Simpson looks like he's burst a radiator as he goes through the chicane, so more fluid, and you can see the line on the track at the exit of the chicane, so more fluid getting dropped down here, which is, it's not slippy enough. It is now. Into the hairpin they come, Geraghty. And look at that, Chris Reed trying to go around the outside of 1, 2. Can he make that stop? Yes, he can. What a move, but Vic Covey's going to show him the gravel trap. So all that hard work gone in a heartbeat. As we come up the main straight and over the line, that's the start line there. And we go past the last lap board, which is held out just now. So it's all or nothing on this last lap. They're going for broke as we go through the top of Duffy's Dip in towards turn 3. And then once we get through turn 3, we head towards, and there's lots of tyre smoke as well. It's still as you were for Geraghty, Covey and Weddle. Look at them all so close with each other as they go down through Butchers and over the crest of the chicane, up the back straight towards Clark Corner. And again, still that piece of mini lying on the exit of the chicane as Ian Walsh goes past that and in towards Clark's. Ashley Morris getting way up on 2 wheels there. As we then look towards the closing corner of this race. It's all going to come down to the hairpin, isn't it? As Munro comes into the hairpin now. What's happening behind him? Because Ian Munro has had a brilliant race. He has controlled it from the front. He's up towards the checker flag. He goes. It's ready for him. It's all about Geraghty and everybody else in second place. As they come up towards the line, it's going to be Geraghty. Is it Weddle or is it Blake? It's Craig Blake who gets on the podium from Michael Weddle and Vic Covey Jr. Chris Reed, Ian Walsh, Dougie Simpson, Ashley Morris and Neil Methven rounds out the top 10. Brilliant race that one, and the race distance obviously upped by 1 lap after the safety car was out. So fabulous stuff. Let's hand down to Fiona Wallace for some post-race interviews.
So Mark, second overall there, and I didn't even know who was going to win. I'll come second watching that race. 4 into the hairpin last lap.
It was a hard battle out there. Initially kind of got the jump, was having a hard battle with Vic, and then I managed to gap it halfway through, lost ABS. So then I was closing the gap to Ian, I could see it was pulling in, and I believe I got maybe fastest lap there as well, so I was reeling them in, and then the light came on. I locked up once, looked at the dash, here's the orange ABS light, the dread light, so I tried to manage it, but I just had to try and get the car stopped. In second place, happy to get that after last meeting wasn't overly great, not on the podium, anything like that, but still scoring points. So no, happy to get a second, and we'll see how this reverse grid goes.
I know that it's just been pulled out. It's number 7 on the grid, so does that mean you're starting 5th?
I'm terrible at maths, something like that.
Yeah, me too.
Something like that, yeah, we'll just go out there, like I said before, it's enjoying back doing the racing again, just score some points. Robbie and Michael have pulled up a wee bit of gap there, but then Michael fell back a little bit, so we still need to kind of close that gap to Robbie, although he's not here. But we'll keep going till the end of the season, and it's not over till it's over.
It's definitely shaping up to be an interesting championship, so can't wait to see what happens.
No, it should be good.
Perfect, thanks Mark.
Yeah, so Ian Munro then coming out of the
first ever podium. You must be over the moon.
Yeah, so yeah, can't believe it really. Moved to Minimax, and we've had a bit of bad luck throughout the year so far, and Scott's constantly just saying, look, it will change, and it's hard to keep your head held up when it's happening all the time, and it just shows you it does change and it comes good eventually, you know. So hard work pays off, and just credit to the team that you've got behind you, you know. Can't thank them enough.
Well, I'm sure the other podiums will come along quickly now. That always tends to happen. The first one's always the hardest one, and then they come along like buses after.
Yeah, and that's it. That's exactly what John just said. John Duncan just said to me. He said, "Now you've got that podium. It's the win next." And I was like, "Don't put too much pressure on me straight away, John. Like, hey, it's just happened." But no, it's something to work towards, isn't it? And you know, hopefully it will come at some point this season. That's the goal, and I'll be happy, you know.
Good. Well, congratulations once again, and have fun in the next one.
Thank you very much, Fee.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Race number 3 for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup here at Knockhill, and look at the weather conditions. Yes, look at them. Ian Walsh is on pole position from Chris Reed, Vic Covey Jr, Michael Weddle, Craig Blake after that brilliant first podium ahead of Mark Geraghty, and the race 2 winner Ian Munro. But yeah, wet weather conditions. Can Ian Walsh make this one stick? There you go. Slippy, slidey stuff. Full complement of lights. And away we go. We're racing down towards the first corner. Chris Reed looks like he could possibly just have edged ahead on the run down, but Ian Walsh coming back on the way in towards Duffus Dip. He's on the inside line. It's going to be battle of the bravest here as we come through the top of Duffus. A very wet circuit now. And look how dark it is as well. Some of them with the headlights on. And everybody, though, behaving themselves this time and getting through the first complex at Knockhill. The first couple of corners, big sideways for Holderness on the exit of McIntyre's turn 3 as he heads down through the twisty part. But Ian Walsh leads as they come up towards Clark Corner, a saying that I've wanted to say for such a long time. Walshy in the number 19 car, making this one look pretty good just now. Vic Covey goes round the outside of Chris Reed. That is a cheeky little manoeuvre, and Gordon Long up towards the back of Cameron Bryant. Big dive towards the left-hand side for Gordon Long as he heads in towards the hairpin. And Gordon, well, he's a bit of a wet weather man. Let's see how he gets on in this race. Look at how keen he is on the brakes. He knows Bryant's alongside him. He's given him just enough racing room there. And Cameron Bryant, what does he do on the exit? Well, he forces Gordon right out to the edge of the track. So Gordon has to back out of that one as they come up the main straight for the first time of asking. Underneath the bridge for Walsh, who has led lap number 1. Vic Covey starts to chase him down now. And then Mark Geraghty, Chris Reed, Michael Weddle, Ian Munro and Craig Blake all follow in line astern down towards McIntyre's. Walsh is sideways! Whoa, he manages to hold that one. But that was a big moment, and that is a warning for Ian Walsh. Did I see sparks of the car as well there as that was coming through? Vic Covey now all over the back of Ian Walsh as they come up towards Clark Corner. Walsh is going to have to try and defend that if he can, but he can't, and through into the lead goes Vic Covey, and that's also opened the door up. Well, no, it was not Michael Weddle, it was possibly Geraghty. One of the BSS cars looks like they've got a good run through the corner. But that all started when Walsh made a big error going through McIntyre's, and it's Mark Geraghty who gets himself into second place, and Chris Reed goes past Walsh, and Michael Weddle and also Ian Munro trying to get past Ian Walsh. Ian Walsh has been bullied on this lap. Craig Blake's about to have a go as well. A bit of regrouping required for the number 19 car of Ian Walsh as he's side by side now underneath the Beatson's Building Supply Bridge, and Geraghty takes the lead from Covey. Power move going in towards Duffus Dip. Runs in that hot, leaves himself a little bit of room for error, and good racing from Mark Geraghty as Chris Reed now tries to come through. Oh, bang! Straight to the side of Chris Reed goes Michael Weddle. That was a little bit rude. Chris Reed won't like that. He's going to hang it round the outside, and he'll take that place through the chicane. Michael Weddle has to back out. He doesn't, and he's forcing Chris Reed out onto the exit curve. Brilliant mini stuff. Both drivers giving each other just enough room to get through the chicane there. Nice bit of respect from them as they come through Clark's. Reed loses a place though to Ian Munro. And let's just pause for breath for a second, because this is early doors in the mini final as we arrive at the hairpin with Vic Covey prancing about in the rearview mirror of Mark Geraghty as Munro goes sideways. Munro spins out of that place. and backwards at the edge of the track just now. Didn't see if there was contact there or if that was just a case of the back of the car coming round on him, but he rejoins with Barry Holmes all the way down in round about 14th position just now. Back up the inside goes Vic Covey on Mark Geraghty, and that will be a lead change as Craig Blake. Oh, Chris Reed's bonnet's up, and I wonder if that's something to do with the collision which he had with Michael Weddle at McIntyre's the lap previous to that. The bonnet goes up on Chris Reed, he will not be able to see a thing, and all this is happening, and Walsh and Blake are both doing some pretty strange lines through turn 3 there over the sausage curb as we get the rest of the field running through. Now where has Chris Reed gone to? Has he stopped at the side of the track? Because there's a chance that they could put the bonnet back down while he's still going. I can imagine, you can probably just see at the bottom of that. He sits so low in the race car, that little half moon at the bottom, you'll be able to see her there as we get the leader at the hairpin, which is Vic Covey. Michael Weddle's on the outside and Mark Geraghty on the inside of him. Geraghty trying to get past Michael Weddle, gives him enough room on the exit. Then we've got Blake, Walsh, Simon Holderness. What a race for Simon Holderness after that DNF in race number 1. Simon goes past just now, and this is a sensational race for Simon Holderness as Vic Covey leads over the top of Duffy's Dip, and Michael Weddle trying to go around the outside of Mark Geraghty. Looks like he has Craig Blake. Well, Craig Blake knows no other way apart from having full opposite lock and a whole heap of power on. And Ian Walsh now trying to show Craig Blake that he can do just as much sideways as him as they go over the top of Duffus and through Leslie's. Gordon Long catches a slide. Can he get past Morris? Yes, he can. Good move, Gordon Long there, kept his foot in it, got alongside Ashley Morris and follows Cameron Bryant through as they now make their way up the chicane. Another good race for Gordon Long in car number 30. In towards the hairpin once again for Vic Covey, and Vic has a nice gap over Weddle and Geraghty on the outside. You'll be seeing Craig Blake and Ian Walsh behind them with Simon Holderness homing in now out of Neil Methven. Neil Methven's having a great race here as well, we should say that. Neil Methven and Cameron Bryant goes into the gravel. Gordon Long says thank you very much. He just accelerates up the main straight. He'll have a better run on Cameron Bryant, and Bryant hands the position to him, but Ashley Morris has come past on the main straight, so Gordon Long gains the position, loses a position, and back to where he was as they go over the top of Duffus Dip. Just watch how he has to work with the steering wheel to get the car in there. We've got the debris flag stationary at the top of turn 1 for the floppy bollards which are in the middle of the track, and it does look like turn 3 is extremely slippy for these guys and girls. They're just teetering on the edge of adhesion as they go through there. These Yokohama tyres working very well considering how slippy that track will be, and we haven't had many retirements yet. Chris Reed possibly the only man out, and that was with the bonnet flapping up in front of him. So hairpin time. Where's Michael Weddle going? Stirling by the looks of things, and through on the inside comes Mark Geraghty. But look at that, gentleman driver Mark. He could have just taken the line there right out to the exit curb and shown the gravel trap to Michael Weddle, but he decided not to do that. He gave Michael Weddle enough racing room because Geraghty knew he had enough speed to get through the corner and past him. They're going to have to watch out though, because the Rainmeister Craig Blake is coming quickly as they go over the top of turn 1. And Craig Blake is bringing Ian Walsh back into this. These guys are working together pretty well as through they come. Weddle goes underneath Geraghty going through Butchers. It's going to be side by side through the chicane. Geraghty takes a little lift and there's a lot of contact, and off he goes. Geraghty lifted and hit the brakes going through the left-hander that upset the car, and off goes Geraghty across the gravel trap and into the recticel. Disaster for Mark Geraghty. We could see that happening. A dab of the brakes unsettled the car, brought the back round, and off he goes in towards the recticel. He will be raging with himself, but that is just what happens. Very unfortunate. And on with the show here as we get to the hairpin. Through comes Vic Covey ahead of Weddle, and Blake again got on the podium just now. But Ian Walsh could have all sorts of things to say about that. Over the line, a comfortable gap for Vic Covey Jr. over his teammate Michael Weddle. These two Minimax cars showing everybody a clean pair of heels as Craig Blake comes through the top of Duffus, and Ian Walsh. Ian Walsh has got eyes on a podium here. This could be the making of the man in number 19 as Blake has a little sideways moment through. Craig Blake now doesn't want to lose this podium as they go through the chicane. So it looks like he's almost starting to go into the defensive mode, which will drop him back towards Ian Walsh. And in the remainder of this race, it's going to be one of those finger-biting, fingernail moments for Craig Blake as they head round towards the hairpin. Simon Holderness goes through shots in car number 52. And then, contact! Ian Bonthron into the side of Neil Methven. That was a little bit rude, Mr. Bonthron. No need to be doing that to your former Superlap Scotland competitor. Those guys have known each other for quite a long time. I would imagine there was no malice involved in that. Just a possible mistake more than anything, as Gordon Long gives us another bit of footage. Is that Methven and Bonthron still at it at the hairpin? It is. And here comes Gordon Long, and look at Ashley Morris trying to capitalise on that error at the hairpin from both those guys as well. As the top 4 come through Duffy's Dip. It's now 2 and 2, isn't it? It's a 2 at the front of Covey and Weddle as we go back on board with Gordon Long. Look at the closing speed as he goes through the apex of turn 1, then turn 2. Onto the brakes, we come back up with the leaders at the exit chicane. Walsh! No, Ian, calm down. He used that gravel there as a berm, like a motocross rider. Kicked the car back into a straight line, and away he goes. You won't want to be do that again as Gordon Long tries to do the same thing. And who's that on his inside? Is that Ian Munro? It is. Ian Munro slithers up the inside of Clark Corner. Brilliant bit of driving from Munro, and we could see that happening in our mirror. Or in Gordon Long's mirror, I should say. But out of the hairpin comes Vic Covey, and wow, this has been pretty sensational. Covey comes up, it's a checker flag getting made ready. It's Covey wins the final from Michael Weddle, Craig Blake and Ian Walsh in 4th place. A fine 4th place for Walshy. Simon Holderness equals that with a fine 5th place. Brilliant stuff. Then Bonthron, Methven, Morris, Munro and Gordon Long does get a top 10 after that very, very eventful Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup race number 3.
So Craig, I was right. I told you, once you've got your first podium, they'll come along like buses.
You're not wrong. I need to listen.
A woman's
to you
always right.
I need to listen to you more often. I need to listen to you more often, honestly. I'm happy as Larry. 1, 2, 3 for Minimax as well, and it just gives the payback to the team that they deserve, and that's nice to give them something back. See everyone smiling at the end of the day, and great for Vic as well and Michael. So great day, and hopefully more of the same at the next round. So we'll carry this momentum on and go from there. So.
And will you be having a few beers tonight to celebrate?
Are we having a few beers? Yeah, it looks like we're having a few beers.
No one's answering.
Yeah. We're having a few beers. Yeah, we're having a few beers, definitely. And it's time to celebrate because, like I said, these boys work really, really hard. And it's not just the race weekends they work hard at. It's during the week, the prep that goes into it as well. And that's the bit people don't see. And that's nice to give them something back, definitely.
Good. Well, congratulations. I'm delighted for you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Well, good weekend for you. 2 out of 3 newcomer awards. Pretty happy?
Yeah, pretty happy. It would have been nice if it was 3 out of 3, but the DNF in race 2 was a bit of a downer on that. So, but glad to come back, start from the back, and I don't know what my final position was, but we got newcomers, which is the important thing. So happy with that. Yeah.
And how were the conditions out there? Was it a bit slippy?
It was beyond. It was almost like there was something fairy liquid on the track or something at points, because very, very slippery. I had a huge moment at Duffus, by far the biggest moment of my mini life so far. I don't know how I didn't crash. I was just fighting with the wheel, didn't know what direction it was pointing, so that's one to watch on the GoPro later. But no, it was good fun, brilliant.
So you're looking forward to the next round?
Yeah, I can't wait. Get my little ding on my bonnet fixed, new grille, and then back out and hopefully keep it clean. Yep, that's it.
Well, perfect. Well, thanks very much.
No worries, cheers.
Thank you. So Michael, a Minimax podium there. It's nice to see all 3 teammates in one piece.
Yeah, one piece. Yeah.
Some dent.
Some dents, but it's one of those things when it comes to the wet. Unfortunately, I had a bit of contact with Mark going into the chicane. Not really sure what happened. Just a bit gutted for Mark, really. We were having a good race up to that point, and then next thing I know, he's in the barrier. Hopefully he's all right. I think he is. I've seen him when we went round.
So are you happy with your results from this weekend?
Yeah, no, really happy. We've closed the gap down to Robbie now to 1 or 2 points, something like that. So Hopefully we can carry on the momentum now going into the last two rounds of the season, and then we'll see what happens.
Good. Well, I think we're in for a good battle for the championship, maybe like last year, down to the wire.
Hopefully. Well, I will see what happens. We'll take it one race at a time.
Well, congratulations once again. See you next time.
Perfect. Thank you.
So, Vic Covey, you're a race 3 winner. These wet conditions seem to suit you.
Yeah, they always have. I've kind of been waiting on it since we came back, just have a bit of a run in the wet and see how the car goes. We have a straight line issue, but it kind of nullifies itself in the wet and you get a bit of a chance to live with it. So we managed to get out in front, and then Mark managed to get past us again, just drove past us in a straight line. But he just obviously missed a gear, got back past him. So that was just head down. I saw Michael at the end, I thought he better not think about it because I'm not letting him through, but it was good fun.
Good. And do you have any sideway moments at all?
No, to be fair, the car was pretty planted, so it was actually quite eventless. Just kind of cruised our way through to victory.
And it's nice to see a full Minimax podium. We've not had that for a while.
Yeah, as an unofficial driver coach, it's nice to see that all my drivers can get on the podium with me, and I can still beat one or two of them, which is a bit of a bonus because Michael was starting to score a few more than me, to be fair. But no, it should be bodes well for the rest of the season. And
there's no team politics. You weren't going to let Michael through to get some extra points from Robbie?
Absolutely not. That was never happening when I'm in the lead.
Okay, well, thanks very much, Vic, and congratulations. We'll see you next time.
Cheers, Fiona.
So it's been another action-packed day here at Knockhill Racing Circuit for the Celtic Speed Mini Cooper Cup. We'll see you next time for more action.